must admit, Tom Brady hit the nail on the head.
Flawless victory.
Even though I thought he was a detriment to the community as a whole, because I always felt that his criticisms, even though they're valid, I felt that they made people not want to be a part of the scene much more than attracting more people to become part of the Mortal Kombat community. Even though I felt that way about this guy for a long time, I must admit, Tom Brady hit the nail on the head. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, Tom Brady recently released a podcast called the New Era Podcast. On this particular episode, he spoke about comparing Tekken 8 to Mortal Kombat 1. And I'm much more, I like to talk about what I enjoy instead of dogging on what I don't like. But I think Mortal Kombat has come to the point, as far as in the perception of many of the fans, it's come to the point that you can't escape how people feel about this game right now. And a lot of the criticisms I would attribute to Warner Brothers. But I feel what Tom Brady had to say was very poignant, and I think it warrants repeating. Now, I'm gonna put a link to the podcast in the description so you can watch it in its entirety. I recommend that you do that. But if for whatever reason you don't want to sit through it because it is over an hour, I'm gonna summarize it real quick and kind of go over the main point that I think he touched on. And I think, well, first of all, he talks about the philosophy of Mortal Kombat and NetherRealm as opposed to something like Tekken and even Smash Brothers, in a sense. Hold on here. Oh wow, okay, I'm coming up pretty soon. But he talks about the philosophy and game style, and I think so. He says that Tekken 8, they didn't just create Tekken 8, right? Tekken 8 was built upon by what they did in Tekken 7 and what they did in Tekken 6 and so on and so forth. And kind of like Smash Brothers Ultimate, which was a wildly successful selling game, has a lot of things that are similar as a returning player. So I play Link in every Smash Brothers game, and Link feels familiar. A lot of his stuff are the same. He kind of has the same special moves all the time, with one or two being different maybe. But you'll always have like, AA into up tilt that typically combos, and the character feels the same. Even in Street Fighter, you'll have things like Ryu will always have forward low into Hadouken. It's a combo. Much more than just having the same special moves, a lot of the buttons are the same. So Ryu will always have that, what's it called? The collarbone punch. Collarbone breaker? You know what I'm trying to say. He has that overhead punch. Guile always has the double sweep. Dalzim, standing heavy punch is always that long-reaching, low keep away tool, and standing heavy kick is always his anti-air kick from afar. A lot of these games have the same philosophy of building on the same skeleton almost for each character. Even if the mechanics are different. So, for example, Street Fighter 4 had, oh no, don't quit. Anyway, even though Mortal Kombat 4, the major mechanic was the focus mechanic, and then rather Street Fighter 5 had the V system, and Street Fighter 6 has the overdrive system. but Ryu remains very, very similar throughout those games. Guile remains similar throughout those games, so on and so forth. Mortal Kombat is not that way. Even though the characters will have the same special moves, more or less, Johnny Cage will have his Shadow Kick, Sub-Zero will have his Freeze, Scorpion can teleport and have a get over here, but their buttons are always different. They always start from scratch, so what you could combo into in Mortal Kombat 9 is different than in MKX, which is different in MK11, which is different in MK1. And that's something I never really liked, but I was okay with. It wasn't a gripe for me. But what Tom Brady spoke about is the fact that we always point to Warner Brothers saying, hey, Warner Brothers gives them a deadline that's impossible to meet, right? And we, for the most part, we know that that's true. NetherRealm can anticipate that and do something very similar with their characters. So have Scorpion, the skeleton or the foundation of Scorpion, work the same as a previous game. You can have your different mechanics. You can have a run mechanic and take away a run mechanic in the next game, or have breakaways and then take breakaways away in the next game, or crushing blows, so on and so forth. Cameos. You can always have the major mechanic be different, but have the characters similar, and that way returning players have something familiar. And the most important thing is that development time doesn't have to be as strenuous. So, you know, Warner Brothers is gonna give them a crazy deadline. This could help make that deadline more achievable. So instead of thinking about, hey, how does Sub-Zero's buttons are gonna be in this game, and how are his combos gonna be in this game, and how Scorpion's buttons are gonna be, and how Scorpion's combos are gonna be, and so on and so forth. Instead, a lot of that development time can go towards polishing the game, polishing the, you know, the menus, and working on bugs to make sure that, making sure that the bugs aren't in the game, making sure that the menus are good, making sure that, you know, gives you more time to write a story. But I really thought that what he said really hits the nail on the head, because regardless of Warner Brothers giving them the time they need or not, oh, I could have comboed there. Okay. But yeah, normally I don't agree with Tom Brady, but this time I thought he hit the nail right on the head. Just like this Johnny Cage is hitting me on the head. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Oh, the overhead. Not good. Not good at all. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, how did I miss that? Oh, oh, am I dead here? No, now I'm dead. And I couldn't break? Did I not have Scorpion? That was unfortunate. Anyway, if Tanya was similar to MKX Tanya, then maybe I would be better at the game than I am right now. But yeah, I think Tom Brady really hit the nail on the head, and it's something that NetherRealm I think really should consider, is just getting the foundation of the characters the same and keeping it that way for the next game and just introducing new mechanics. The question is, what mechanic, or rather, what foundation would you choose from? Would you choose an MK9 foundation for Scorpion, or an MK11 foundation for Sub-Zero, or how they determine what they want to be the identity of each character can vary depending on whatever they feel like is best. But once they determine what that is, they need to stick to that thing and just keep them that way. Johnny. I like those glasses though. But but I just really think that's something that NetherRealm needs to do. Ooh. Personally, I think we should go back to a MKX. I know a lot of people say this, but I feel like MKX is the standard that they should do. Now, one other thing that he mentioned that I do not agree with is that people want one-on-one fighting instead of cameos. And actually, I think that is right. I think a lot of people would rather have it be a one-on-one and not a cameo or assist-based game. But it's not that people don't want assist games. They just want assist games that are done properly. And not that this game isn't done properly, because I would say even the most negative person, or even the person who likes Mortal Kombat 1 the least, will admit that the gameplay is the best part of it. The gameplay is fun. When you're actually playing and doing combos, that's fun. But it just feels like a lot of the characters are like they were created by different developers. Like it almost feels like they had a team and they just divvied up some characters to this person and some characters to that person, and they both, without communicating, made their own characters. So you have characters like Johnny Cage, which has the hype mechanic, which is cool and unique. Or you have Ashura that has like the stance change, or Shang Tsung that has a stance change, which is cool and unique. And then you have characters like Raiden that just he doesn't have any mechanic. Or you have Gearus that has like the hourglass tokens, which is cool and unique. And then you have Sub-Zero, which has no mechanic. And it just feels like one person was very creative when it came to how they developed the characters, and then whoever else did the rest just said, hey, we're just gonna do plain old regular characters without any special mechanics at all. So if they adjusted that, if they made everyone have something cool, and instead of having what another thing I agree with another thing that I agree with Tom Brady on is the fact that you'll have some characters that seem very reserved, like Sub-Zero felt very, I don't want to say neutered, but Sub-Zero, they feel like they took caution in making that character. And then you have people like Johnny, who is nuts, or you have you have Raiden. Raiden is also kind of nuts, not because he has a creative mechanic, but just because he's very, very good. And those two philosophies are, again, it just feels like two different development teams. One team who's trying to be very conservative, and another team that's making it balls to the wall. I think if they made everything balls to the wall, make everything broken and interesting and creative, but now here's where I think the cameo system would really lend to the gameplay is, as long as there's an answer to whatever's broken in a cameo, then what that strategy can be as broken as it wants to be. So for example, have zoning be really, really good. Have someone be really good at zoning, and then if someone complains about it, you can say, "Hey, you don't know the matchup. All you got to do is choose the Sub-Zero cameo, and that will even the odds." Or, yeah, well, did you catch that? Did you catch that? Anyway, and if as long as so if there's someone that's good at rushdown like Johnny, let them be super good at rushdown, but have a cameo that can help even the odds. Like maybe there's a cameo where on block you can push block. Actually, I think push blocking should be a mechanic everyone can do. Let me spend a bar to push block so I can back up and then reset neutral. Or something similar to that. Maybe it uses my cameo meter or a bar and a cameo meter. I don't know, but give me the option to push block so I can reset neutral on block. And I think if you have something like that, you wouldn't get this Raiden combos into Storm Cell into Cabal, and then you're just stuck in block, and then it's still his turn, and then it's combo. And if he hits you with the combo, it's like 40%. And if you block the combo, then it's still his turn if he can do Storm Cell into Cabal. But I think you'd be able to defend against that if you once he's doing his combo, you spend whatever resources you need to push block, push him away. You can back up, and now we're at neutral again. So that way you can have the rushdown be really, really good. And if you choose not to push block, then you're just playing the game wrong, essentially. Have these strategies be really good, but just present the answers to them, and then I think you have a game. I think you got a really good game, especially with cameos. You can kind of counterpick with cameos, and I think the game would be in just a much more healthy state. Anyway, that's how I feel. If you like this kind of content, go ahead and hit the like button and the subscribe. I really need the help. Please help me out. Oh man, and if you want to check me out on any other socials, I have a link tree in the description. Check me out there. And until then, you guys, don't get beat up out there.